Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Oh my God, look, there's someone
We
popping
got the kiddies here. We got the
behind
family
you.
here.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love that. Okay, well, Jay, I mean, you've got an extraordinary life and an extraordinary family and an extraordinary fatherhood. So I want to let you share your story. So with
Thank you.
that, I'm going to give the stage to you.
Thank you very much, Kunal. Well, good morning, everyone. It's a real honor to be with you on Father's Day in what by any measure has been a challenging year for us all. I want to begin by acknowledging that there is someone who is not able to experience Father's Day this year with his 5 children, and that's George Floyd. What happened to George Floyd was both outrageous and tragic, but sadly an all too frequent occurrence in our society. Thus, it is important, especially on this day, to reflect not only on George Floyd's death, but the deaths of so many individuals of color, including the more recent tragedy of Rayshard Brooks and the gaping void left behind among family and friends. Black lives do matter, and the effect on a family of a life wrongfully taken is nothing less than devastating. I want to add my voice to those of the millions, not just in North America, but around the world, who believe that racism in all its forms needs to be eradicated now. With COVID-19 and its health and economic implications, with racial injustice and social unrest, with uncertainty waxing and trust waning, these are indeed challenging times. But I'm an optimist who sees opportunity in every difficulty, and opportunities abound. Look no further than we, the planet. I want to thank you, Kunal, for giving me this opportunity to share some thoughts with you and with this great group that we have gathered together. I'm a huge fan of Kunal and his efforts to spur lasting, meaningful change. This is exactly what is needed in today's world. Kunal and Laura may be the founders, but all of you are co-builders in helping to transform and reimagine our planet, especially in the post-COVID world. Better days are coming. The theme of today's Father's Day Summit is spot on for these unprecedented times: exponential legacy of prosperity and human flourishing. As Dr. Martin Luther King said, life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? I think of myself as a heart hunter. Why do I say this? Because what I value most in people are attributes like empathy, compassion, lack of judgment, curiosity, open-mindedness, humility, respect for others, and a passion for peace and improving our planet. In my experience, the best leaders exhibit these qualities. They lead not through fear or bullying or raising their voice or saying insulting words, but by actually listening, genuinely making an effort to understand the other, by inspiring others to be their very best. In addition, in this age of pandemic, the ability to be agile of mind and flexible in execution is more important than ever. So how does one acquire these traits? Well, this brings me back to Father's Day and thinking about my own father and about the father I tried to be for my children. My father, Meyer Rosenzweig, passed away 7 years ago, but there is scarcely a day that goes by that I do not think about him and how he shaped the person I became. His life informs my own, and he has left a legacy that lives through me, my siblings, and through my own children and my nieces and nephews. My father was, in many respects, a remarkable man, but he always carried himself with an underlying humility. He was, like so many of his generation, a product of the Great Depression and World War II. After the war, he started his own electrical company. He was an entrepreneur. He was successful, not just in making a living and providing for his family, but more importantly, in gaining a reputation for quality and honesty. Everyone who knew him, his suppliers, customers, and coworkers, respected him. Starting and running a business is hard. It takes a great deal of time and effort, but my dad never subtracted that time from time spent with our family. He was a good, involved parent, and through his example, he passed on his values to us, his children. He was an equally wonderful grandparent to my 3 children who are with us today, Sammy, Allie, and Joseph. And he, along with my amazing and incomparable late mom, served as a role model to me. So I miss him and my mom terribly, though I know they are still with me. Now I live a busy life, as most of you do. My interests extend well beyond helping companies with leadership strategy. I serve on a number of nonprofit boards, including the Raoul Wallenberg Center for Human Rights, and when we band together, and Director X's Operation Prefrontal Cortex and Hands Around the World, and the Rosenzweig Report, which I founded 15 years ago to track gender diversity in the corporate leadership ranks. And I advise and invest in many emerging growth businesses, typically at the intersection of profit and purpose. But all of that takes a back seat to being a dad. As Winston Churchill put it, we make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give. Which brings me back to exponential legacy, which has always been a purposeful journey for me, leaving the world a better place. To fulfill that, where better to start than with my children? There is absolutely nothing more important to me than being a father and husband. One of the greatest accomplishments my beautiful wife Renee gave me was when she said, "Jay, no matter how exhausted you are, no matter where you have been or what you have been doing, you always light up when you walk through the door and see our kids." And it's absolutely true. It's like a switch has been turned off when I get home. I try to instill in my children, by speaking with them constantly about these things, and also by example, the importance of things like respect for others, including their elders, especially their grandparents, a sense of social justice, including racial injustice, the value of having a good work ethic, including the pride one can take in a job well done. I also talk to them of the value of listening, truly listening to others. I model this by listening intently to them because I learn so much from them, including about myself. I encourage my kids to pursue their passions, whether it's arts, sciences, business, whatever makes them feel alive, to experiment and not feel pressured to quote unquote find themselves if they don't have a path they are certain about. To understand the journey is most important, and that there will be heartbreak and disappointment, but also incredible moments of joy and accomplishment along the way. As Miley Cyrus says, it's all about the climb. And speaking of the climb, my children thankfully understand that it's empty to covet audacious materialism or to show off wealth. Too often society has this backwards. Unfortunately, there are a lot of broken, weak leaders out there who have fooled millions into thinking they are the model of strength. It is therefore more important than ever for us to show what real strength is, to show what real leadership is to our kids, to better be impressed by humility, wisdom, compassion, and kindness, to help, to give, and to share with loved ones and strangers alike, unconditionally, without negative overtones or wanting anything in return, to always take the high road where the traffic is the lightest, to expect nothing and to appreciate everything that is given to them, but to never be pushovers, because kindness is not weakness, kindness is strength. Be skeptical, ask a lot of questions, be firm, and say no when that is called for, but always do so with grace and class. In a nutshell, I hope my children will always care about the world around them. That will be my exponential legacy. Renee and I are so fortunate that our kids have absorbed these values. My kids are my best friends. We love being together. These past months, due to COVID, the family has seen me more than ever, especially during the day. And thankfully, they don't seem to mind. With all the heartache and collective grief and hardships COVID has brought, we mustn't forget opportunities as well. For those of us who have been fortunate enough to have stayed healthy during this time, it has provided us a chance to reset and meditate on those things that are most important in life, and to determine where the future lies with our lives and the planet. Our children are aged 21, 19, and 17. And during COVID, we've had many deep discussions about racial injustice and other issues of the day, from the environment to equality. My goal has always been to accelerate the learning process for my kids so that they can have all the knowledge and experience I can give them from as young an age as possible. The tables are turning. I now learn so much from them. They are my advisors and confidants. They are so smart and wise. Their level of judgment is beyond incredible. And they keep me current in so many things, including music. I love their music. Bon Iver, Frank Ocean, J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, Drake. It's become my music. There's a quote attributed to Mark Twain that goes like this: "When I was 17 years old, I couldn't believe how little my father knew. But when I was 21 years old, I couldn't believe he learned so much in 4 years." The message is clear, and it reminds us of COVID and how much I've learned from my children over the past 4 months of house confinement. Thank you, and happy Father's Day.
Thank you. Thank you, Jay. Jay, hold on a second. Before you leave, I'd love to say hi to your family. And definitely, you know how they say crowdsourced, writing books crowdsourced? I think this was a family sourced speech because I could totally feel the heart and soul of all your family members in there. Hi, everyone. Hey, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Come behind your father so we can see you. I don't know if that's possible. Let's try. There we go.
Hello, your head,
That's
Jojo.
so special. And this is the first family portrait. We've got to take a photo of this one. So thank you guys for being with us, and thank you for being such extraordinary souls to your father. You know, that's what gives fathers all the joy in the world, when they have extraordinary daughters and sons. So thank you, Jay, for your thank you guys for such an extraordinary legacy, and have a lovely Father's Day.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
That was really special to have the kids on there.